What if I just made the whole video talking like this? I look like an old little grandma, a babushka. Hey guys, so I thought I would do something very different than my typical story times, whatever, and I thought I would share a few times that I have had some interactions with men that have been really shockingly great. Like times where men have been upstanding human beings, and times that I've been drunk, and times that I've needed help, and men have come the fuck through. Okay? I've had this channel for 2 years now, and I actually just hit 4,000 subscribers. Holy fucking ballsack. Like, you guys, that means so fucking much to me. I have gained 1,000 new subscribers in the past 4 months, which for me is like really fast growth. Like, maybe I'm starting to kind of get on that come up. Probably not. So I'm really appreciative to everyone that subscribes and like checks out my shit. Like, it really means so fucking much to me. I never even thought I'd have 100 subscribers, so 4,000 may not be a lot in YouTube world, but to me it's incredible. So thank you. In the 2 years that I've had this channel, like probably the #1 like controversial type comment thing that I've gotten, mainly from men but also from women, is like, are you a man hater? Like, why don't you ever talk about good experiences you have with men, blah blah blah. And first of all, like, common sense, like YouTube, like if you want views and you want interesting stories, like you need to tell like the most interesting, scandalous, whatever stories that you have. And obviously a story about a time a guy fucked me over or ghosted me or whatever is so much more fucking interesting for you guys to eat popcorn and watch than it is to hear about the time that someone took me on a lovely date, kissed me on the cheek, and said goodbye to me, and texted me the next morning. Like, no one gives a fuck about that shit. The reason I tell all the negative stories is because it's for views and it's interesting, you know? And also, guys are doing shitty things to girls all the time. So that's just what I'm talking about, and other girls can relate to it. But you just have to also understand that that's because I'm a heterosexual female. Like, if I was a lesbian, I would be getting fucked over by other girls, and then this channel would be about girls that have fucked me over. So, you know, like, you have to like use your common sense like at least a little bit to like realize why I make the videos I do. Doesn't mean I'm a fucking man hater. That's fucking stupid. If I was a man hater, I would literally be celibate or a nun, or I would like not ever have sex or date people or talk to people. Like, you know, like it literally doesn't even make sense to me. But for the sake of all the people that think that I don't know anything good about men and don't think men do anything good, I am going to tell a few mini stories of times that have stuck out to me that I've remembered, even if they happened years ago, because I was so amazed and impressed with certain things that men that I have encountered have done. First little story. This happened my sophomore year, and now I'm a senior, so probably like a year and a half ago now. I went to go hang out with a bunch of my guy friends and like drink, and we were gonna go out and like whatever. And when I got to my guy friend's house, one of the guys that was there asked me if I wanted to try Xanax for the first time, and I was like, I don't know, like I don't really fuck with that. And he was like, no, like it's so chill, like we do it all the time. And granted, yes, like at this time all of my guy friends were like popping bars like no other, like probably to the point that they all like minorly had an addiction, like it was probably an issue. But since they did it all the time, I figured like, okay, I'll try it. So my guy friend breaks me off a quarter of a Xanax, which I kid you not is like half the size of my pinky nail. Like it's the tiniest little thing ever. Like you look at this and you think that's not really gonna do anything to you. I'm so wrong. So I take this tiny amount of Xanax for the first time in my entire life. I go out, I drink, whatever, and I black the fuck out. Just so you know, if you drink on Xanax, you will 100% black out. There's a 100% chance that you will black the fuck out, which means that you're still awake and you're still interacting with people, but you don't remember any of it the next day. It's scary as fuck. The next day, the only thing I remember from this night was I came to from my blackout. So I blacked in for like, not even exaggerating, 30 fucking seconds. I black in to one of my best guy friends making out with me, pulling away from me and going, we shouldn't be doing this, you're too fucked up. And then I black out again. So I don't remember anything. So the next day I call that guy friend and I'm like, what the fuck happened last night, blah, blah, blah. And he's telling me all these things that I had no remembrance of. Like, oh, you don't remember coming back to our house? Like, you were there post-gaming for like hours with your roommate. Like, you don't remember me jumping up to like slap the banister and I accidentally jumped too high and hit my face on the wall and my nose was bleeding. All this crazy shit that I literally have no recollection of. Like, it's scary to think that all these things were happening and I was there present for it and don't remember it. So I was like, yeah, no, like I literally don't remember any of that. Like the only thing I remember is us kissing for like, I don't even know how long we kissed because I was only awake for like 30 seconds, and you being like, no, you're too fucked up. And he was like, yeah, like you were all over me, but I knew that like you would never be like that, like if you hadn't like been so fucked up. And like granted, I don't think he knew that I'd like taken Xanax, so he didn't like realize that I was like legitimately blacked the fuck out. And he was just like, yeah, like I knew that like you wouldn't like be into me sober, so like I didn't want to do anything with you because like you were obviously really fucked up, so like I stopped it. I just remember being like so taken aback, like what the fuck, like this is not a guy friend that I've ever been interested in. So like to think that like I was all over him, like this is how girls get in really bad situations when they black out or get too drunk or like take Xanax or whatever, because when you're fucked up, like you don't act like yourself. Like if he was being honest and if I was really all over him, like that's bizarre to me because I've never viewed him that way. But when you're fucked up, like your brain has like a whole other agenda for you, which is why you should really be careful about how much you drink and what you mix with your alcohol, okay? Like this is a PSA. And I was just like so thankful, because if it had been any other guy, like someone that wasn't my good friend, just some guy that had met me at a bar or whatever who was making out with me, he would have for sure had sex with me. It wouldn't have given a fuck about whether or not I was blacked out or how fucked up I was. But since it was one of my good friends and he's like an upstanding guy, he even knew, even though he didn't know I was blacked out, he even knew though, like you're obviously too fucked up for this to be happening. Like I know that you don't like me. I don't know why this is happening. Like something's wrong here. So he completely stopped it when I literally had zero control over my body or my actions. So that is a time that a guy could have raped me and didn't. Next story of a time a guy was upstanding. I do not accept drink offers from men at bars because 9 times out of 10 when guys buy you a drink, they're expecting to talk to you for the rest of the night or buy you more drinks to liquor you up, to maybe take you home, blah, blah, blah. Like, I believe that when a guy puts a monetary value on the time spent with you, whether it's just a $3 drink at the shittiest bar in Tallahassee, I don't give a fuck, I am assuming that most guys are thinking that I now owe them something because they've spent money on me. So to avoid this situation completely, I usually deny drinks offers from men at bars. I was at Potts with one of my friends, or maybe a few friends, I don't know, sitting at the bar waiting to order a drink, and the guy sitting next to me introduced himself, was making small talk, and then he asked me if he could buy me a drink. And I was like, no, actually, I do not accept drink offers from guys. Like, it's nothing personal. It's not something I do. And he was like, no, really, like, what are you drinking? Like, there's no hidden agenda here. I really just want to buy you a drink. And I was like, okay, dude, whatever. So I let him buy me a drink. He buys me a Bud Light. I'll never forget this because I was so shocked by how nice he was. He buys me the Bud Light, hands it to me, kisses me on the cheek, and says, "You're beautiful. I hope you have a great night. Like, maybe I'll see you around. Like, bye." And that was it. And then he walked off. Like, didn't harass me, didn't ask me for my number, didn't even try to have like a conversation with me. Like, legitimately, actually just wanted to buy me a drink, tell me I was beautiful, and like wish me a good night with my friend. I have never experienced that with a guy before at a bar. Like, I am to this day completely floored by it, shocked by it, wish I could give him a gold star. It was a good experience. Thank you, sir, for being a good person. These two stories are about the same guy. This guy is one of my best friends, like one of the first guys that I met at FSU. We stayed good friends all through college. He ended up living at that house where like all my guy friends lived at, so then like I would see him all the time because I would always be at his house. Like, we became super close. Like, my mom loves him. Every time my mom would come into town, like, he would go get lunch with us, get drinks with us. Like, my family got to know him. Like, we loved this kid. He's still one of my best friends. Like, he's an upstanding guy, whatever. The first night that I ever met him was when I was still involved with the Ultimate Fuckboy, and I had ended up back at ATO, like, wasted as fuck with this girl who was my friend freshman year. And I don't know why the fuck we were there, but I remember being super anxious because I didn't want to have to see Trevor, because I knew if he saw me, he would like make a huge fuss of it and be like, "Why the fuck you at my frat house? Like, are you stalking me?" Like, literally, he was that insane. He would literally say that to me if he saw me at his frat house. So I was super anxious. I didn't really want to be there. And my friend, who at the time wasn't my friend, was a complete stranger, was like introducing himself to me, my friend, just like making small talk with us. And he could tell that I was uneasy. And I remember him being like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need water? Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, I just feel really uncomfortable. Like, there's someone in ATO that I've been hooking up with, and I'm really nervous about running into them. Like, I was completely honest because I was fucked up. And so he was like, "Oh, well, if you want, we can go back to my place," which is another, like, one of the houses attached to ATO. So I was like, okay, like, that'd be better. So he takes me and my friend up to his room in this other part of ATO that he lived in at the time. And I remember being, like, a little uneasy because it was just me and my friend with this random fucking dude. We're all fucked up. Like, I don't know what his intentions are, whatever. So we go up there, and, like, it's clear he's not sketchy at all. He's just hanging out with us, talking with us. He like offered to get us water, like was being super respectful. And then my dumb ass, I don't recommend this. This was like me not being a good friend, but my friend like passed out on this guy's couch in his room, and instead of being like, okay, let's go and let's wake up and leave now, like obviously you're too drunk if you're like falling asleep while we're hanging out with people, I literally left her there, which is awful. Like, don't fucking do this. Like, we were so fucked up though, and the guy was like, it's fine, like she can just stay sleeping here, like I don't want you to bother her, like it's fine, like she can totally stay, like you can come back and get her in the morning, like it's fine. And like, I don't know why, but I just trusted this guy so much, I literally left my friend there to sleep on his couch. Next morning I went back and I got her and I was like, was everything okay? Like, I can't believe I left you there, like what the fuck, like what is wrong with me, like I'm so sorry, I was so fucked up. And she was like, no, he was so nice, like he didn't do anything, like I was just slept on the couch all night, I just woke up, like everything was fine. He offered me if I like needed to be walked home, and I said no because I knew you were gonna come pick me up. And I was just like, damn, well, like thank God he was actually a good fucking guy. And because of that interaction, like him and I became really good friends. Like the very next day on campus I ran into him and I was like, wait, are you that guy that like helped me and my friend last night? And he was like, yeah, like I remember you. And I was like, oh, like take my number. And like then him and I became like really good friends. This is the same guy that I've told a story about in other videos, that I was at a bar and I was so blacked the fuck out. I could tell that I was literally about to like puke everywhere, like it was gonna be the end of the world, like I was too fucking wasted to be in public. And I ran into him, and him and I were friends at this point, and I was like, please take me home, like I'm not okay. And instead of walking me to my dorm, he walked me back to ATO, and I was so fucked up, like the second we got into ATO, I vomited in the hallway of ATO, all over the floor of his bedroom, filled up his toilet and his sink with my vomit. Like I was puking so much, I probably actually was on the verge of alcohol poisoning. Then because I was puking so much everywhere, he picks me up, takes me to a different bedroom in ATO, so some other random guy's bedroom in ATO, and I puked all over that guy's bedspread and all over the floor of his bedroom too. So I was puking everywhere. I was a hot ass mess. Probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I've told this story before. And instead of complaining about it or talking shit about me, he literally cleaned up all of my vomit, changed me out of my clothes into like some of his sweats, wrapped me up in a blanket so like I couldn't go anywhere, like a straight jacket, laid me down on his bed, and then I blacked out. I have no remembrance of anything, but I woke up still wrapped up in that blanket and his clothes, and I just couldn't even believe that like he took care of me and cleaned up all my vomit, like the most vomit that's probably ever come out of a human being in my life. Like this guy is just such a fucking upstanding guy, okay? Let me tell you, ATOs are good fucking guys, except Trevor. Okay, really short, similar story. One time I was walking home from the bar with a really drunk friend and we were passing ATO. Gotta love ATO. ATOs are saviors. And there were all these pledges like standing on the curb like fucking around like 2 a.m. drunk as fuck doing whatever. And they see us walking home alone and they literally are like, oh my god, like you guys, where are you going? What's going on? And I was like, we're just walking home. Like it's fine, we're fine. And they were like, no, like you guys should not be walking home alone. Like as girls in Tallahassee, like please like let one of us walk you to our dorms. And like they were so fucking nice. Like literally 2 pledges walked with us back to our dorm, which was like 5 or 6 blocks away, just to make sure we got to our dorm safely. And then I guess they just walked back to ATO. And that's not the first time the ATOs have found me drunk and walked me back to my dorm when I was a freshman. Like ATOs were literally my saving grace through college, okay? Like I cannot hype up a fraternity enough. One time when I was fucked ass up with my sophomore year roommate, her and I wanted to walk back to the house that all my guy friends lived in, which was kind of near ATO, from Potts, which is a long walk. That's like a 15-minute walk. And we were just gonna do it. Like, fuck it, we don't care, we'll walk. So we start walking from Potts, like up College Ave to like get back to like near ATO, whatever. We're fucking wasted as fuck. And this pickup truck pulls up next to us, and at first we're like, stranger danger, stranger danger. And I noticed that it's one of my good guy friends in ATO's, Big, who's someone that I've only met like once or twice. Like he does not know me well, but at the time my sophomore year roommate was like kind of hooking up with this guy in ATO, and this was his Big. So this guy was like, oh hey, like to my roommate, like I'm blah blah blah's Big, like I know that you and him have been talking, like hey Brighton, like because he had met me a couple times. And he was like, where y'all going, like what are you doing, like it's 1 a.m, like what are you doing? And I was like, we're drunk, like we're walking back to blah blah blah, like the house that all my friends lived at. He was like, no, like get in the back of the pickup truck, like I'll give you a ride, like y'all should not be walking alone. And so we get in the back of this pickup truck at 1 a.m, and he legitimately drives us straight to where we wanted to go, like told us to have a safe night, whatever, and we went inside our house to hang out with the friends. Like had no secret agenda, like legitimately just drove us to where we needed to be, like a free, safe Uber. Last but not least, this story is so incredible to me. Like I will be telling this story for all of time. Like this story means so much to me, and I kind of wanted to make a video about the whole Me Too, sexual harassment, sexual assault thing that was going on when like everyone on Twitter, Facebook would make their status Me Too, just saying like, hey, I've also been sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, whatever. And I was gonna make a whole video about that using this story as an example of like the fact that there are really upstanding men in the world that don't want like bad sexual things to happen to women. But I'll just share the story now. Like, it sticks out in my mind. Like, it means so fucking much to me. At the house where all my guy friends lived at, sophomore year, I was tailgating at ATO. And like, when you tailgate, like, game days at FSU are insane. Like, you are fucked up. Like, you are belligerently drunk like all fucking day long. Like, people are doing drugs, people are like doing all kinds of shit all day long. It's like so bad for you, it's insane. But like, moral of the story, you're fucked ass up. So it was a game day, I was fucked ass up, and I wanted to go back to my guy friend's house because it was just like right behind ATO to like recuperate, maybe like drink some more, like, I don't know, do whatever the fuck we were doing, just chill for a little bit before going back to the party, because it's literally an all day fucking party. So I go back to my guy friend's house, and I'm so fucking fucked ass up. I mean, everyone's fucked up, but like, as a girl, like, I'm fucked ass up. And so I go into the bathroom to pee, and like, this house is so old and shitty. All the walls are paper thin. Like, you can hear everything all the time. So I'm just sitting there like peeing, drunk as fuck, minding my own business, and I hear a man's voice, or like a guy, it's a college guy's voice from the living room, and he just goes, "Oh, I just saw that girl go into the bathroom. Who says we should all run a train on her?" So fucking appalling. If you don't know what that means, run a train literally means like a whole bunch of guys switch off fucking one girl, like literally gangbang her, like disgusting as fuck. Like, actually probably the most appalling thing I've ever had a guy say to me, or have heard a guy say about me. I wish I knew who this boy was so I could Facebook message his mother and be like, this is the kind of shit your son is saying about drunk girls. Like, what the actual fuck? So disgusting. Anyway, it was a guy that I did not know. Like, when it's game day and whatever, there's a bunch of random people coming into every house, into every tailgate. Like, it was a random fucking guy. No one knew him. And I remember sitting there peeing, being livid. Like, I was pissed as fuck, and I was gonna pop the fuck off when I was done peeing and went back out there. And I was like waiting for all of my guy friends' reactions, because I knew there were like 6 of my best guy friends sitting in that room, and I was waiting. What are they gonna say? Like, this is a great test right now of how much my guy friends care about me and what kind of men they are. And I kid you not, the second this guy says that, all of them are like, "Oh my god, what the fuck, bro? Like, you can't fucking say that. Like, you don't even fucking know her. Like, that's so fucking disgusting. Like, that's Brighton, that's our fucking girl. Like, you don't even know her, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, the fact that you'd say that about someone, like, let alone Brighton, like they were so fucking defensive. Like, if this guy had tried to touch me and do anything, like, they would have popped the fuck off. Like, I've never felt so defended in my life. Like, oh my god. And I was also so impressed, so proud, like, couldn't believe it, because it would have been so easy for them as guys, especially because they were all fucked up, to be like, oh, like, just laugh it off or whatever, just to like look cool. And they all like jumped down his fucking throat, and I was so fucking impressed. And then I walk on out of there, and I go, "So who the fuck in here said they wanted to run a train on me?" And all my guy friends get super silent and like look at this one dude. I mean, granted, there's like 20 people in this room, and they'll just look at him, and I go, "You're fucking disgusting, and you can get the fuck out of my house right the fuck now." Because that year, that house was basically my house. I was there like 10 hours a day. I was there all the time. I didn't have to text to show up. I just showed up. Like, I basically lived there. I was welcome all the time. I was like the queen of that house. Like, the guys dubbed me queen of blank. They like loved me. Like, I was the queen of that house. And everyone just looked at me and looked at him like, oh fucking shit. And he actually fucking left. And I was just so impressed. And I was like, oh my god, you guys, I'm so proud of all of you. Your mothers would be so proud. I was so shook, so fucking shook in the best fucking way. Anyway, as you can see, yes, I have had good interactions with men. Yes, not all men are scum. Yes, there are really good guys out there. Like, you think I would have as many guy friends as I do if they were shit people? Fuck no. Like, I purposely do not hang out with the shitty, scummy fucking assholes of FSU. I hang out with the good, upstanding men that have my back, that respect me, that respect other women, that have girlfriends that they respect. Like, I understand that there are good guys in the world. I'm not a man hater, but like, who the fuck just wants to hear all these little stories about the time a guy was nice to me? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, this is a channel about dating and fucked up shit and whatever. Like, just because I talk about a lot of fuckboys doesn't mean every guy's a fuckboy, and you're very, very naive and small-minded to actually believe that that's a thing, or to think that I actually think that. I hope everyone realizes that there are good guys in the world. I hope you liked those little stories, and yeah, moral of the story, ATOs are good fucking guys. Bye, y'all.